people to be aware of how we as consumers contribute to the human rights situations that are going on around the world. That when we actually go out and buy something, we're actually making a vote. That dollar that we're putting down is making a vote for against human rights, because a lot of the products that we buy are made in insane labor conditions, in slave labor and child labor and prison labor, and many of these prisoners are just political prisoners who have done nothing more than exercise their basic human rights.
That was Adam Yauch of the Beastie Boys at a recent rally to free Tibet. It is a cause that is very, very close to his heart. He is here along with Beastie Boy Mike D to talk about Tibet and group's business philosophy in general. Adam and Mike, welcome to It's Only Money.
How you doing?
Your label, let's start with that, Grand Royal. Tell us about Grand Royal and what the acts are and how successful it's been.
Mike?
Well, we turn to Mike, of course, because you are the business part of this. Okay, tell us about Grand Label.
I'll start on the sexy startup of Grand Royal. We started around 1992, so about 5 years ago. And the first group we put out was a band called Luscious Jackson, who are now on their second album, Natural Ingredients, doing quite well. So I guess they have a gold record now, so that's really good. And then the groups, we started in LA, and it was just sort of something we wanted to do for a while. Was just, people who are our friends, who are musicians, came to us and said, hey, could you connect us with this person or that person, or do you know anyone who might be interested in putting what we're doing out in the world? And then we kind of thought, well, instead of just giving something we really like to somebody, why don't we just help these people out and just put it out ourselves and make it available? And then, of course, we had no idea what was actually involved and sort of had to build a business from that, but it was sort of the music was the basis of all that.
And in building this business, how important was the social stand, being socially responsible as far as the philosophy, both business, professional, and as a performing artist in the Beastie Boys? Your philosophy?
You mean
being socially responsible, which Adam, I guess, actually started with your feelings about a social...
No, I wouldn't say that. I think it really is something that comes from all of us. I mean, I think we kind of get pigeonholed into like representing different parts of what we do, but I think all of us feel pretty strongly that it's important to be responsible for all your actions, especially in business. And I think there's this real concept in business that a person has to be that if a person is working with certain moral values, that's going to inhibit their business and they won't be able to do as well, or won't be able to make as much money, whatever. And I think that's a real sad view because what we do really affects this world, especially in business. And some of the labor conditions in China are so insane, and the human rights abuses there are so tragic that are going on, and there's just a huge number of U.S. businesses that are over there just trying to make as much money as they can.
So basically then what the two of you are saying, and the group as a whole is saying, is that with regard to the issue of Tibet, that is a philosophy that you feel that with your business success, you as individual artists can support freeing Tibet and also have those who enjoy your music and what you do to join in this cause?
Well, it's both, I think, with our businesses and with the voice that we've been afforded as a group, we're maybe able to bring change, because the only way that change is going to come to Tibet, because they're a fundamentally nonviolent culture, because of where they're coming from, is by us as Westerners and us as people empower somewhat, because we have businesses or whatever, actually using our voice and our means of affecting change.
A lot of people would say that Generation X, the label that I told you as we came into break, is not one that I necessarily like, and it's not one that Generation X necessarily likes, but you're kind of stuck with it, as many other generations are. But Gen X, for lack of a better term, is tending to be more socially responsible in a global sense. Is that part of your philosophy as well? I mean, some people might say, why are you worrying about those concerns there when there are so many things here at home to be concerned about? How did this particular issue come to your attention and to your business?
Well, the Tibet issue is really important, mainly, I think, because it's nonviolent, and so their struggle represents really a direction that I feel that humanity needs to be moving towards for our own survival. So in that sense, I think it's really important.
We're looking at a rally now with regard to this. Why don't you talk, as we're looking at this rally, about your Check Your Tags campaign and the importance of it and it being established?
Yeah, we were helping to promote a hang tag campaign where there would be little tags on all the clothes, and certain designers, there are about 20 some odd designers, I don't know, Anna Sui and Marc Jacobs and some other people, Todd Oldham, who agreed to put these tags on their clothes that talked about what was happening in Tibet, and also that the clothes were being made in a responsible way, that they were going out of their way to make sure that there were fair labor conditions and that people were being fairly paid. So that's kind of what, in a nutshell.
You have records, a magazine, and a clothing label. This philosophy goes through all of those entities?
Well, I think it's just sort of all these things were things that came up as ideas or things that we wanted to do out of ideas first, and then it's sort of like, okay, figure out how to do a business around that, or then we had to deal with the realities of business second. You know, it wasn't like, okay, go out and let's see how we can make the most money here. You know, so I think it's kind of fundamentally different. I think also one of the things that unfortunately gets labeled on our generation probably is that we don't really have a lot of ambition, or that people don't know what they want to do, which I think it's all of our friends is sort of kind of the contrary. It's like people are very ambitious, but I think the ambition is a little bit different in the sense that it's not about how can we all make the most money on everything we can do. It's sort of like what we're excited about, our ideas, and that I think comes through whether it's the music or the publishing or whatever, or clothes or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, if I could just add one thing to that. There's I think that one thing that's going on that's really scary is that our government has separated human rights issues from trade issues, especially with regard to China. It's we've completely separated that. Clinton has separated it, and there's an organization called the U.S.-China Business Council that's lobbied intensely to have these issues be separate. And we've had meetings with the U.S.-China Business Council and talked with them about the importance of human rights, and at some points they've given us the impression that maybe they're going to try to look into this, but it really isn't clear whether they're actually looking into it or not. And I think
what is really clear is that the Beastie Boys and what you are attempting to do is to make people responsible socially by whatever their own measure might be, and that is certainly reflected in all the entities of your business. Our time is out. So we appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for giving us your thoughts today and being here on It's Only Money.
Dalai Lama has been touring the U.S. to raise awareness of his country's problems. Last weekend, the entertainment industry lent a helping hand. Michael Oku has the story.
The Beastie Boys' Adam Yauch became famous fighting for the right to party. Now, as frontman for the Milarepa Fund, he's fighting for a different cause.
The reason that this concert is going on is to help the people of Tibet get their freedom.
And that cause prompted one very big party in New York over the weekend.